Good morning, everyone. Today we're back with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Cabin Fever by Jeff Keeney. Last time we finished at page 67 on Wednesday. Let's continue. It snowed last night, just like Mom said it would. And while all the other kids in the neighborhood were enjoying their day off from school, I was pounding the pavement looking for work. I thought about whose door I should knock on first, but it wasn't easy. Mrs. Dorothy lives right across the street, but she's a little affectionate, and I usually do my best to avoid her. How about the hug, Greg? Did somebody just drop this pebble? Then this Mr. Alexander, who moved into the Snellers' house. He must not be worn braces as a kid because his teeth aren't very straight. Unfortunately, the first time Dad met Mr. Alexander was on Halloween, and Dad must have thought his teeth weren't real. Those teeth are hilarious. So I decided to skip Mr. Alexander's house too. And then people who live on my street that I haven't spoken to in years. When I was about 4, Mom and Dad had a cocktail party for some of the couples in the neighborhood. I went downstairs during the party to use the bathroom. But I guess when I didn't know you were supposed to keep the door locked, so Mr. Harkin walked right in on me. Oops, sorry about that, buddy. When I was done, I found Mom and told on Mr. Hanker, and I'm sure he felt like a jerk. So I'm not about to knock on the door of some guy I ratted out when I was in preschool and ask him for money either. Today I realized there's just too much history between me and the people in my neighborhood. So I decided to go one street over to Prentice Lane and start fresh. I walked up to the house on the corner and knocked the door, but I recognized and the lady who answered. She was Mrs. Melcher, one of the grandma's friends from Bingo. I told Mrs. Melcher I was trying to earn a little money shoveling people's driveways and that I'd be happy to hers for $5. But she told me she never get visitors and invited me inside to chat. I didn't I want to be rude. The next thing I knew, I was sitting in Mrs. Melcher's living room, surrounded by the long ornaments she took inside for the winter. I felt a little uncomfortable, but I figured if I was gonna ask someone for money, at the least I could do was try and be polite. But all I could think about the whole time I sat there was how much money I could have been making if I just knocked on someone else's door instead. I must have been in there for an hour before I was finally able to steer the conversation back to the subject of shoveling her driveway. But Mrs. Melcher said her son was coming by in his pickup truck anytime he plows her driveway for free. So that's an hour of my life I'll never get back. I headed back out to Prentice Lane and started knocking on doors. I guess most people were at working, so it took me a while to find someone who was actually at home. I finally got lucky when a guy who looked like he just woke up came to the door. I told him I'd shovel his driveway for $5, and he said it was a deal. I got to work and was making pretty good progress, but it started snowing again while I was shoveling. By the time I had finished, it had snowed so much that you could barely tell I did any work. So I rang the doorbell and asked the guy if he wanted me to shovel his driveway again for another $5, but he wouldn't go for it. To make things worse, the guy said he wasn't gonna pay me for the first $5 back until his driveway was clear, like I promised. See, this is why it's a good idea to have a contract between you start working for someone. I got back up there and started shoveling, but so much snowfall was falling, but I was getting nowhere. Then I had an idea. Grandma's house was only a few streets away, and I remember that She keeps her lawnmower in the garage, so I walked over to her place and pushed the mower back to the driveway I was walking on. I thought this mowing idea was genius. I couldn't believe no one had ever thought of it before. Unfortunately, it didn't go as smoothly as I hoped it would. I thought the snow would shoot out of the side, but the blade cut right through it, and snow stayed there where it was. Eventually, the mower started making funny sounds, and then all of a sudden, it stopped. So I guess things aren't really built for cold weather. Rattle, shudder. I push the mower to Grandma's and put it back in her garage. Hopefully it will thaw out before the summer rolls around. I still had this guy's driveway to deal with, but the snow was really coming down, and there was no way I was going to spend the rest of my day walking for $5. I needed a quick solution so I could move on. I could see his garden hose was attached to the house, so I turned it on, but the nozzle to the shower was setting straight down the snow in the driveway. It was great. The water melted the snow on the contract, and I was cruising. Then I saw a sprinkler leaning up against the house, and I got an even better idea. Once I was finished, I turned off the sprinkler and knocked on the guy's door. He paid me $5, and when he saw his driveway was cleared. I was pretty excited about the way things worked out, and I guess if I found some more people with sprinklers, I could have multiple jobs going at once. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anyone else who was home, but my idea probably wouldn't have worked anyway, because by the time I walked back down Princeton Lane, the driveway I hit with the sprinkler was frozen over. Wow, slide. When Dad got home, we had to go out and buy 5 big packs of rock salt to melt the guy's driveway. So now, instead of having money in my pocket for all the hard work, I'm $20 in the hole. Shake, shake. Well, I think we'll leave it there, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.